What's going on? Welcome to this live stream. Right now we're just roving the forests of Westwood and Eagle Mountain. Just doing some guitar playing while we're also just chilling in the forest here. Live stream. I found myself today randomly sort of talk about Qigong quite frequently. It feels like there's a lot of people, at least I've noticed in my life, gravitating into my life, that seem to have an increased attraction to integrating Qigong practice. Which makes me happy, honestly. I feel it's one of those things that I think it coincides with a lot of beautiful practices, but even further, I think I was speaking about this earlier on my stream this morning, but I feel live streaming, it's definitely like an art form, right? It's like sort of this intuitive dance between navigating what your intention is, as a streamer, as a facilitator, right? And then also navigating what you feel the collective intention is, what your perceiver, your audience, what they and their engagement, how it sort of, collaborates with you. It's interesting. I just think a lot of it, for myself personally, I've come to see that, for a lot of us, fundamentally we're searching for something. We're seeking some sort of, I'd say, dopaminergic relationship, right? We're trying to create some sort of connection, feel connection, understand what it means to connect to other human beings. And I feel social media often it invites that. It sort of incontestably convinces us that connection, connecting with another human being, it's this kind of like randomized, endless spiral of almost like scarcity, to feel like there's some part of you that doesn't feel secure in the community or the connection that you have in your life. And I just want to simply say very clearly, that's not how real human beings are. That's not how life is fundamentally. A lot of us, we sort of fall into this misconception of how we are experiencing other human beings, and how we make this misconception is through social media. It's through the relations that we form and reinforce with our phones. Not realizing, along the way that these things were never meant to be reinforced. Whoa. It's bouncing, I'm not loud there. In the simplest right, what I'm saying is we as human beings deserve a deeper level of connectivity. And you'll only find this in the real world. You'll only understand this in the real world, with authentic connections, with authentic, unconditionally received connections. So I think a lot of things malign when we try to basically assume that social media, and even an extension of social media, say, a connection that we form on the computer, on our phones, on any sort of substitute of reality, we try to convince ourselves that this is the same as real life. But the truth is, in the real world, right, this is the thing that I actually love to return to, is in the real world, we experience eye contact. In the real world, we experience tonality. We experience micro expressions. Very simply, we experience an array of communication that is nonverbal. An array of communication that fundamentally is impossible to emulate in a social media context. And think about it. It's like the majority of how we are actually communicating to each other is with our bodies, is nonverbal. Voice is just a tiny fragment of how we actually communicate with each other. And it makes perfect sense that how can we begin to believe that, a simple one-dimensional window or blip of how we experience each other can substitute the deeper array of how we experience human beings. And this is very important to understand, because obviously social media, all these tools, they're tools. We can use them intelligently, we can use them mindfully, we can, unify each other, we can community build. But the reality of it is, once we make that misconception, we can't see, the forest from the trees, so to speak, then we're misconcepted. Add a Q&A sticker. I would love to do that. Let's try this. Okay, what's our question? What is a good question? Let's see. This seems kind of universal, but let's see. Just trying to put the question and answer function up, but it didn't seem to work. I found it really interesting. I came across this one YouTuber. His name's Dakota. He's pretty large, has a pretty large following. And it was beautiful. He basically, did a talk that said, I understand that I never really exist. We just kind of came to this conclusion. He's just like, I don't actually exist. And he was sitting inside of a Buddhist graveyard, and he was basically contemplating the nature of death. And he was contemplating the nature of fear, of death, of all these different interesting things. And basically, what he was doing was he was actually going on a few tangents about basically Buddhist philosophies. The essence of, what was it? The essence of attachment. Attachment to this world. It was kind of contemplating the nature of being like, if it's inevitable, we're all going to die. We're all going to die at some point. Everyone we ever know, the earth as we know it, will eventually disappear and just be a memory of a memory, right? Why do we hold on to these things? Why are we so attached to these things? Why are we so afraid of the idea of these things disappearing forever? And what he said was, the reason why a lot of us suffer is because we deeply believe we're associating what we invest or attach ourselves to with things that are going to disappear, things that are going to end. Like the cycles of life and death. It's like, we're almost like, this is kind of similar to what I study in lucid dream work. What's going on, bro? Yeah, for the thrill of it, we're here, dog. Adrenaline through your veins. I mean, we're going for the opposite. We're going for the opposite of thrill. It's more like parasympathetic activation. But yeah, so I really liked what Dakota was speaking about, right? Dakota was basically saying that the Buddhists believe that, a lot of us, our fear and our struggles, our suffering comes from our attachment to this world, attachments to the things, the material world as it is. We're attaching to the material world. And this is why we suffer, is because everything comes to an end. And it's very difficult, it's very painful for us to let go of the things in our life, right? To let go of the things of this world. But the Buddhists believe that when you attach yourself to things that are everlasting, that are immortal, when you attach yourself to things that are not, simply going to disappear, or you accept the idea that, the life cycles of life and death are just a part of it all. It's just like you can basically learn to attach yourself to things that are not going to, disappear, things that are not inevitably going to end. I thought that was very beautiful because, in my perspective, it's when I study again lucid dreaming, what I learn about when I study lucid dreaming, the core precept that you learn is basically how to put the material world in perspective. We have the material world that we can hold on to tangibly, and then we have the greater construct of what is, which is the non-material. A lot of us, we are so heavily convinced that this material world is real. This is all that is. We think incontestably that everything we see with our sensory experience, everything that we know in this material world, we are so heavily convinced that this is all it is. And when in reality, the larger construct of actually all things, the larger construct of how most things are unraveling and operating is actually in the non-material, beyond the mind, in the unknown, in the unwritten, in the quantum. So I think it really comes down to what the Buddhists were saying is, when we let go of trying to just attach ourselves to the material world, to the things that we hold on to in this life, and realize, well, what if we instead form bonds with that which is beyond the material? Then there's nothing to lose. There's no fear of losing the things that are immortal, the things that we can never have to grasp and attach ourselves to. This angle is very awkward for this pan flute. But thank you for being here, my friends. Thank you for just taking space in your day to allow yourself to step outside, of your realm, to allow yourself to engage in something different, if that is this. I don't know. It's funny because on these streams, right, often I actually invite people, when there's these moments where people are like having philosophical debates, or, maybe they have an indifference of opinion, they're just like speaking and they're just like, nah, you know what, I disagree, or they want to introduce some sort of argument per se. Like it's like their mind is unconsciously trying to resolve something, a deep seated truth. I think that's very important. I think that's a very beautiful thing. But that being said, I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, and I think actually the reason for this fundamentally is social media. Social media is a thing that sort of dilutes the boundaries and it blurs the lines between what an actual argument is, what an actual interaction that's meant to translate into a deeper awareness of what something is. I think a lot of us just fundamentally, again, it's like there's a philosophical reason why people argue. One person says, this is my truth, I believe in this. And then another person says, well, this is my truth. And then they say, I disagree with your truth. It's like if these two truths understand that the core reason why they're arguing is to come to a deeper understanding, to come to a deeper understanding of what truth is, then there's no reason to feel like it is you versus me. It's like there's two people with different opinions who both are trying to understand. They're trying to come to a deeper understanding. And I feel like a lot of people, if they're arguing without that deeper awareness of like, wait, why am I arguing? What is my underlying reason of why I desire to argue for this? If they've lost that fundamentally, then they'll argue endlessly. They'll never understand why or understand what it means to come to a deeper realm of truth. And then fundamentally it's meaningless. It's just never comes to an understanding. I think we got a tune here. Let's unpackage ourselves here. The forest again. Bro, welcome to the perfect example of what I just exclaimed. Ignorance at its finest. That's okay. It's okay. I feel like my guy is here to try to make sense of his own misconceptions. Welcome to the forest. Bro, I have a partner. I've had partners continually for years now. Yeah, I appreciate your concern, but I think all you're doing is you're warranting yourself the means to get timed out and permanently not be able to comment on this chat. Because I get it, you're maybe lost, you're confused, you're overstimulated, you're trying to make sense of your own relationship with the opposite sex, but we're not here for that, friend. We're here to talk, play music, enjoy the beautiful forest. Perfect. I love this portable lamp we have here. Commander, I think you're very lost, my friend. Like, you're lost. You're lost mentally. You're lost in this YouTube portal. I don't think you found the right place. But I hope you find it, my friend. I'm not taking anything hard, my friend. I literally said you're lost. That's it. You came here, you're clearly confused. Like you're trying to make sense of your own relationship with, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what you're doing. I mean, thanks. You're here, bruv. Dude, what? I gotta say, bro, the only reason I haven't, given you one of those 24-hour timeout badges is because you're kind of entertaining. But I'll be honest, I don't think you. I'm not sure if you actually understand. I don't think anyone likes Drake, bro. He's literally a predator. I mean, thank you for the opinion, I guess. I don't know though. I don't know if I'm gonna take your opinion, my guy. Well, that's fair. I like one of Drake's songs, but I can't say you're someone I would take advice from. Anyways, I passed the audition and made it. Yo, what's good? That's amazing, brother. That's amazing. Congratulations, friend. Let me know how the sound quality is for this year. Part of me just wants to time you out so you don't spam my chats. So if you keep spamming, yeah, I'm probably gonna kick you out. But regardless, no, I haven't ate McDonald's in 10 years, brother. Noted, noted. Thank you for the feedback. I gotta find the perfect placement. I think everything probably is on that microphone is a bit too loud. I'm actually going to invest in a beautiful lav mic. I've been looking in a really beautiful lav mic. So what I'm gonna do is probably next week, I'm gonna buy a lav mic and master all the audio so you guys can have like a very refined audio experience. It's trippy. There's like some, looks like it's snowing, but there's actually like cotton raining down. definitely work on mastering the audio for this particular thing here. I've been streaming for 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes. But yeah, I don't know, to Commander, I get it. Like I see right through your shenanigans, but I must say, as I've been streaming, for about 3 months now, and I'm kind of like learning to gauge the art of streaming. I feel like in the next little bit, I'm going to normalize creating very heavy boundaries for people that are trying to like, just create the wrong kind of energy. I don't want to invite people that are here to kind of just like, troll just around. That's not the kind of community I invite in this channel. So, as much as I get it, like it's cool, bro. I love comedy and I love not taking life too seriously as a whole. It's like this is a live stream that I have an intention with the channel. So, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I can place this ping shot. I feel like I'm gonna find myself situate kind of farther from the audio and see how this plays out. So if we're here and I sit myself maybe somewhere like right here, a nice view of the forest. Place my amp maybe right there. Sure. Appreciate you, son. Appreciate you. Mastering audio it's definitely an art form itself, I would say. It kind of works. Let's just lower this. I found myself very attracted to a very, very gentle dynamic of playing, one that's kind of utilizing these very, very meditative sounds even further. It's kind of an awkward angle to do with that. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm not sure how long I'll be here because it's actually pretty cold here in Canada right now, but I just felt attracted to be like, I'm just gonna go in the forest, capture some of these beautiful forest dimensions around me, and yeah, that's the wrong key. That's tricky to hit that key. This thing's hard to control sometimes. No. Yeah, I mainly just do originals and improv. I create meditative sound journeys and I create music. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Brienne. Nice to meet you. Practicing witchcraft is a very different form of spirituality than I'm used to, but I like to learn. Hmm. Very cool. Yeah. Nah. I mean, I'm very actively. If you were there when I was actually like going off in a long tangent about spirituality, that was a very interesting conversation. I mean, I think the essence of it. I think I don't really identify. I don't really desire to be someone that say identifies with spiritual practices or religion. I just naturally over the years I found myself organically attracted to specific practices. Specific mindsets and philosophies that happen to unravel. It's like I have never formally practiced anything spiritual. It's kind of like I feel like very simply this guitar really just became a portal to understanding myself and actually dance connection, learning to just like almost intuitively move energy. That kind of just unlocked a lot of very deep-seated truths, quantum shifts, understandings of things that I feel like really has just made me a happier, um, more clear-headed person. Because it's like I resonate a lot with like Taoism, ancient Buddhism. I read a lot of this kind of literature. But yeah, no, very open-minded though. I'm very open-minded for everyone's perception of what gives them happiness, what gives them clarity. And it's kind of the whole core emphasis of this channel. I call myself a Shay. That's my brand, my moniker. But the idea is, it has a deep underlying meaning, right? It's a representative of what I feel. The process of bridging worlds with music and a sacred context is. It's almost like I'm a guitarist. I've been a guitarist for 16 years, and for most of my life, I was like a punk rocker. I was into metal, alternative rock. I've played tons of music. I've really been devoted a lot of my life to music and to performance art. And it's only been the last like 3-4 years that I've kind of gone on this quest where I've begun to create these very like free form orchestrations, kind of like sound journeys, I call them. And these sound journeys, like it's almost like the more that I allowed myself to let music flow through me, channel music, basically master the art of improv. And I don't just improvise on the guitar, actually, I improvise as a tutter, as a dancer, with like popping, locking, liquid. I deeply believe in like forming a relationship with the body and then therefore the energy body. And yeah, it's almost like I've kind of just stumbled into very healthy practices that have made me somehow experience metaphysical anomalies and quantum shifts in my life. And that's kind of where I stand within the spiritual context. Is I'm not a guy that's ever been like, hey, like let's do a deep dive in spirituality. I've read a lot of philosophical literature. I've read a lot about metaphysical things in here and there, but truthfully, I just kind of organically stumbled into these kind of, again, these like metaphysical anomalies, these kind of quantum shifts in my life. And I feel like just genuinely happier, more clear-headed. I feel like I have the ability to really just communicate with myself and the universe and the things around me in a way that I feel deeply grateful for. And the product of that, I feel, is to almost like have a divine reverence for things. It's not a perspective or a mentality I ever sought. It was like a product of just living a lifestyle that was aligned with my highest truth and being. And then I feel like I just naturally became extremely attracted to, things that are aligned with nature, things that are aligned with simplicity, and things that are dimensions outside of the intellectual mind. I must say, I think you've earned the 24-hour pass. Like I liked entertaining your stand-up comedy routine, but I don't think you're my target audience, Commander. So I'm gonna, let's see, put you in timeout. Peace out, my man. Peace out. Good luck. Good luck with it, homie. Good luck with it. But you're not my target audience. So yeah, no such thing as witchcraft. Very cool. So randomly came across, yes. Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, dude, I don't know. I don't know about. It's like that's a bold claim. I don't know, Marcel. Like, I don't know, brother. All I know is I'm not. I don't consider myself like a sorcerer per se, but a lot of people when they meet me, um, they kind of make that connection because what I do feel is I connect very deeply with the magician archetype. I haven't really consciously ever made this connection, but I actively do lots of qigong. I do freeform dance. I am very apt to move energy, and I've been doing this for like 16 years, long before I ever had an awareness of what energy was or anything. It's kind of like I've always just had this intuitive desire to really just connect the mind and the body, which is also the essence of qigong. It's like a bridging of those worlds. But I don't know, my partner, she's a phenomenal human being, and she loves witchcraft. She's like deeply resonates with those dimensions. So I don't know. I wouldn't denote any of that. But other way, yeah. Welcome, Queen. Welcome, Queen Brienne. Hope you've been well. So let's see. So the other day, you asked what inspires you. Nothing came to mind until later. I'm currently working towards lucid dreaming. That's so dope, yo. That's awesome. W's in the chat. I don't know why I want to say that all the time. I don't think people really do that, but yeah, that's legendary. I swear. I swear every single person I've ever had like a true deep discussion with about lucid dreaming, that's kind of like that seems to be the immediate byproduct is they're just like they kind of look at me and kind of like objectively reflect and they're like, "You know what? It's almost like I feel like unconsciously I've been desiring to integrate the practice of lucid dreaming." And it's bizarre because I'll be honest, if we're being very forthcoming, if you're like fundamentally experiencing like an existential dread, like you look at your life and you're living in like sort of agonistic loop. You know, you look at your life and you're just like, wow, everything is terrifying. You're dysregulated. Like the world feels like it's crashing down. In many rights, that's an invitation to evoke something, to enter in a relationship with basically something that is metaphysical. Lucid dreaming, entering the practice. There's actually the larger practice called dream yoga. Dream yoga is integrating spiritual practices inside of a lucid dream. And I'll be honest here, I've been studying lucid dreaming for about 6 months, lucid dreaming. And I still have not unlocked lucid dreaming. But the idea is the layer of practices, the layer of philosophies and mentalities that you apply in the practice of learning to lucid dreaming is life changing. Like, I'll tell you this much. And so, way before you actually begin to lucid dream, if you integrate the practices of ancient dream yoga, these are life changing practices. I can guarantee you this. And maybe you'll lucid dream, maybe you won't. You probably will. Like, it's a practice that a lot of the ancient dream yoga yogis or practitioners, what they believe is lucid dreaming is not, it's not necessarily a conscious practice that we have to summon. It's actually a natural byproduct of entering a dimension of lucidity in our everyday life. So it's basically like once our mind gets to a natural place that is awake, that is lucid, and is operating at a very specific place, lucid dreaming is literally the natural byproduct. It's like you just naturally enter visionary states in your dreams. It's literally just like it's a natural state for the opened and awakened mind, the mind that understands how to see through the delusions of our waking dream, as the lucid dreamers say. So yeah, it's almost like in the simplest right. I mean, I've truthfully, when I was going through a lot, like my life has been, you know, pretty wild. Like I live a very intense existence. And I have to say, I'm very grateful for where my life has unraveled. I feel like I have an incredible partner. I feel like I have an, you know, extraordinary community that I'm slowly building via YouTube. I have really extraordinary people in my immediate community, but I 1000% have gone through like really, really deep dimensions of trials. Like I've 1000% continuously over the last couple of years, I feel like I've been in a stronger place and more mentally resilient and spiritually resilient than ever. But I also really go through a lot. I 1000%, I process this reality in its deepest extent. And I'm also, you know, naturally I'm sober. I experience this world in the complete sober experience. So there's nothing, I'm not escaping very fundamentally, at least not, you know, via substance abuse. And yeah, reality is intense. But what I'm saying is lucid dreaming is a portal. And I'll be honest here, being a content creator, community building, honoring the king archetype, that is a leader, father energy, this is also a portal. And once you understand the role within these portals, once you understand how to begin to understand them and enter them, you'll notice that your life gains a whole different awareness of how much power that you have in your reality. It's almost like once, and this is a strongly held belief, and I've seen this with many instances of my life, is there are portals in life, like genuinely places that you can go, communities that you can enter, decisions that you make that will change you permanently, that are genuinely infinite. Now you have to find these, you have to discover these, you have to understand what these look like. And I'll be honest, this is all sort of coinciding with what I was speaking at the start, is when you understand how metaphysical anomalies work, how quantum shifts work, you'll understand that on the other side of very specific choices and very specific deep dives and mentalities, there are radical shifts that can occur in your life. And once you see this, you know, you begin to sort of look at life very differently. Now you understand that, life can operate in a one-dimensional way where it's like, you know, you think, okay, then things operate in this way. You know, this occurs, then this happens. This occurs, then this happens. And then never ending to the end of time. But I'll be honest, there's also something beyond that. There's something that doesn't operate in the standard laws and rules of how we think fundamentally things work. It's basically, if you want to look at a standard model, we can perceive our world around us in a one-dimensional way, where we think that everything is one-dimensional, it operates in a linear fashion, but the reality is the universe is multi-dimensional. It does not operate in a singular way. Anyways, I'll come back to our comments here. So understand English. I don't know what you're talking about, Marcel. Talking about rhetorical statements and your definition of witchcraft. Yeah, I think she's just curious. I think Queen is just trying to have a healthy emotionally mature discussion about why you believe that witchcraft isn't real. And I'm curious too, brother. Like, definitely, if you have like some true, merit or validity behind why you feel witchcraft is can't be real, feel free to share this, my friend. Smoking at night prevents me from dreaming altogether. Hmm. Yeah, that's a tricky one. If you're talking about smoking weed, I mean, smoking weed I think is a slippery slope. I mean, I don't know. I've spoken this very openly before. I don't smoke weed. I haven't smoked weed for like 11 years. I used to smoke it a lot, and I used to love it. But I don't know. I'm in Canada. Everyone smokes weed, and it's a very rampart issue. And it's not because weed is fundamentally right or wrong, but it's because people don't have very good self-control. They don't know how to um, harmoniously integrate a medicine like marijuana. So if you're smoking it regularly and it's impeding your dreams and there's like, negative repercussions, then I don't know. This may be a sign to try to learn to integrate it better. Botch that. Botch that, but that's okay. Who'd you put in timeout? I put Commander. Commander, yes. I think Commander's been here before. He's been reoccurring in this place where sometimes he comes on and just kind of hangs, but sometimes I think he just starts to just like throw all these sort of outlandish, unhinged comments where, I mean, no judgment. We can be unhinged. Humans are unhinged. Like, that's cool. Speak your truth, guy. But at the same time, he was just kind of like saying some unhinged shit and then just, I don't know, saying some stuff about Drake. And I was just kind of like, I think this buddy is just like wasting the comment space. So, I don't know. Maybe in 24 hours he'll return and reflect on why he got, timed out. But that's, so be it. Like, I've been in this place where, I've only been live streaming, permanently for like 3-4 months, right? But I am coming to realize that there's a right and wrong way to stream. There's a way to sort of like honor people's opinions and perspectives while also honoring the intention of the stream. And honestly, sometimes it's just moderating, facilitating, setting the tone. Yeah. Rhetorical. Rhetorical. What an interesting way of wording that. It's already cold. It's already so cold my hands are starting to just like freeze up. So great. Gotta love winter, or well, February. February in Canada. So great. Craft this action comes from will. I don't know, bro. I don't know if you're an expert on these things, Marcel, but what is ancient dream yoga? Dream yoga, yes. Dream yoga is basically, in a simple definition, it's integrating spiritual practice inside of a lucid dream. So, if you hear people that say you enter a lucid dream, right? You evoke a lucid dream, and you suddenly have infinite, different realities, infinite potential to do anything you desire. If a person's just regularly lucid dreaming, but they have no, almost like moral compass, no sort of rooting of what they desire to do in this lucid dream. Maybe they have no karmic awareness, or they don't really understand why they're in this lucid dream, so they just do anything, unhinged, no thoughts, and they're just like, all right, that can be destructive. That can be destructive to the psyche. It can be destructive, to your energetic body. And the whole idea is spiritual yoga is basically trying to learn to expand your consciousness as you would, outside of a lucid dream, but inside of a lucid dream. So basically using the infinite boundaries, or the boundaryless nature of a lucid dream, and letting yourself, just integrate spiritual practice. Again, I actually haven't done it. I can't. I've read about it a lot. I've read a ton about it. But it's really, I'll be perfectly honest, it's almost like, from what I can understand, lucid dreaming, or sorry, dream yoga. Dream yoga is it's like the anchor. It's what anchors you into really fulfilling the deepest application of lucid dreaming. Because a lot of people, I've actually heard this infamously, people, they learn to lucid dream and it's very unstable, it's very chaotic, maybe it's very draining. But the idea is when people say learn to lucid dream with a deep awareness, a heightened awareness, say you are entering quantum realms in a deep meditative state. You're doing visualization practices that is grounding you, is rooting you. You have a spiritual awareness of your intentions within your subconscious mind, and you've implanted these. When you then enter a lucid dream, this is amplifying this, because this is the core context that I really take away is lucid dreaming is literally just the quantum. It's the quantum realm. And when you enter this quantum realm, everything is potentiated. Everything is amplified. Everything. It's literally just like you are entering your subconscious mind and everything is exaggerated and amplified. And the reality of it is, if you enter this with the intention of, like, you know what, I want to send love and, warmth and compassion. You want to maybe practice heightening your meditative practice, your meditative awareness. That will be the core focus in your lucid dream. And then this will, expand your consciousness. But if you, maybe do something like you spend all your time in a lucid dream, just like, I don't know, just like doing weird stuff that sort of just is like serving the material mind, or just like trying to feed the ego, then it won't necessarily be healthy. It actually might be damaging, where you leave a lucid dream like, wow, that was not great, that was fucked up. But truthfully, I think there's so much that we can learn, just from the texts of lucid dreaming, of dream yoga. It's like when you read about what these practices are, you'll realize that they're not obviously just about what you are establishing inside of a lucid dream. It's about forming a relationship with your subconscious mind. It's about forming a relationship with basically the power of suggestion. Be it what's the word? Induction. Like, it's using things like induction to plant healthy subconscious thoughts and things that you then manifest in your dreams. And studying your dreams, of course. Yeah. Whoa, what? What the brother? Commander, you're back. You're back, my guy. You're back on a second account. Damn, son. Whatever. I mean, you're promoting the stream, so that's cool, dog. Well, sorry, lad. I haven't been on in a while. That's all good, my guy. That's all good. Yeah. So in my dream, a woman told me my friend's name and said Matrix. Matrix means mother. Matrix means mother, so that's pretty cool. I don't know. So I want to use lucid dreaming to escape reality and solve problems in my reality. I mean, yeah, you can do that. I mean, this is the thing, is this is actually one of the core perspectives that they say in this lucid dreaming book, is the easiest way to unlock lucid dreaming, like to experience a lucid dream, is actually to have an extremely clear intention why. And I mean like extremely clear, precise. You have to it has to be like your part of your life's purpose is aligned with this intention of being like so clear of why exactly you want to lucid dream. And even then, of course, this doesn't mean you're going to unlock a lucid dream, but that's actually stated clearly, is the easiest way to unlock a lucid dream is to have an extremely clear intention of why you want to lucid dream. And secondarily, apparently the other way that enhances your ability to have lucid dreams is to do so from a open-hearted, compassionate place that's for the betterment of another human being. So, say you're like entering lucid dream, like, I want to enter a lucid dream so I can, I don't know, send healing energy to maybe someone that's like your dying grandma or something, or maybe your child or someone you love in your life. That actually, apparently, according to these like ancient Tibetan Buddhist texts, that's how you actually enhance your ability, or you increase the ability to enter a lucid dream. So it's like you're doing it with a very, very clear intention, like a very clear, and then you're also doing it for the betterment of another human being. I found that very interesting. I was just like, that's so beautiful. think I just need to get gloves, like straight up. It's like I think that's the answer to streaming the forest. I just got to bring gloves. So I've gone to the edge of believing there is somewhere else. That's dope as fuck. Yeah, I know I've kind of touched on this. I think philosophically, there is so much we can accept that we just don't understand, but it's almost like the height of a lot of things, like the depths of a lot of things that we desire to understand exist in paradoxes. And it makes sense because we're humans, right? We have human facilities, we have human belief systems, human limitations within these belief systems of how we perceive everything. So if there's something, and actually I remember I was on a bunch of mushrooms and I came to this core realization, is like a lot of the most exquisite things operate outside of the human conception. You know, if we were trying to be like, oh yeah, I can understand XYZ of like the greater, greater truths of this universe. These are naturally outside of the human conception. We as humans, we're limited to our human facilities, our human beliefs. You know, we're going to attach our beliefs, our human concepts and conceptualizations. We're going to be like, oh yeah, I understand this and that. But we do understand it to the limits of how we can understand these things. But a lot of these things, they operate in a much different context than we can even begin to imagine. But yeah, it's great. It's great. That's why I think it's like when you get to this core realization where it's like, we as humans, we're limited. We can only know so much. And it's important to understand what we simply do not understand. We cannot understand fundamentally. Because there's so many beautiful things in this reality that's beyond the human mind. And it's extraordinary. You know, once you begin to feel into those things and understand it, everything changes. Like everything truly changes. Wow. So I've lucid dreamed for many years. I practiced flying for many years, but I fear I took things too far, never considered it a part of my reality, but I may have blown up in a plane. Wow. That's wild. I mean, that's kind of, but that really, that's absolutely, I feel a piece of it, to Queen Brienne is lucid dreaming in itself is very uncontrolled. It's like a boundaryless domain that is beyond the sensory experience, which is beautiful. But this is why dream yoga, this is why there is people that study for many years of their life to understand dream yoga. They've practiced this for many, many, many years to learn to master this art form. And the reality of it is that lucid dreaming in itself is not inherently fruitful, but dream yoga, as they define it, which is, again, this is the thing, is dream yoga is not obviously new. This is an ancient practice. It's been studied by ancient Tibetan Buddhists for a long time, and ancient Toltecs. Those are the two, apparently that's at least what they claim, is those two ancient religions or ancient cultures, those were the ones that practiced lucid dreaming inevitably or in-depthly. Man, I think I need to make my way back home because it's getting cold, but yeah. It's beautiful stuff though, honestly. These are concepts, but once you begin to sort of understand what they're talking about, and again, I'll post the books that I've been reading relating to these concepts, but yeah. Man, it's just too cold. It's too cold to stream in the forest, unfortunately. I kind of just layered up. I was like, yeah, I'll just kick it out here for a bit, but I gotta wait until the season shifts a little bit. It's crazy. Even I do cold plunges every single day in the river, and I still find it quite cold. So it's definitely getting there. Man, I've just constantly had this melody from Braveheart stuck in my head. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Braveheart recently. They have just like beautiful, beautiful melodies sort of throughout the part, like mainly when Mel Gibson's character, it's like falling in love with this one sort of Highlander, and it's crazy. It's just like there's like these crazy flute melodies. Okay, I think I have everything. So, whoa, chat's just going off. Let's see that. Yeah, I just can't. Let's see that. Flying. Honestly, I love flying. I love flying my dreams. I used to do it a lot, but yeah, I gotta say, it's kind of definitely destabilizing to some degree. Like, I feel like, let's see. I mean, honestly, I just vividly remember when I was younger, and I started to fly and lucid dream and do all this crazy stuff. It just made me realize even further just how formless reality is. Like, it kind of just made me happy and be like, damn, like, life is not as simple as we would try to make it. And like, even the idea, it's almost like this is kind of the core practice of lucid dreaming, and this is actually my intention with why I've started lucid dreaming, or desiring to learn to lucid dream, is basically, think about this, right? All of us, in many rights, we are so heavily addicted to the material world, right? You know, we have this material world in front of us. The way our dopamine processes this material world, we are in a sort of trap. We're in sort of like this mental maze where we genuinely believe that this is all that is. At least that's the majority of us, not all of us, but that's what a lot of us believe. We're just like, oh yeah, this is all that is. You know, the sensory experience that's in front of us. And this is actually a deeply woven problem in society, right? A lot of us were addicted. We're addicted to, like hedonism, to pleasure. We're addicted to, I don't know, all these different dimensions of our sensory experience, right? But when you begin to explore the non-material world, right? Say you're in a lucid dream and you have reality-defying, reality-bending experiences, or say you have some sort of spiritual breakthrough. What occurs is you basically begin to get a glimpse. Whoa. You get a glimpse into just how tangible and how malleable this material world is. You basically see, oh, wait a second, there is an entire reality that is beyond this sensory experience. So when you're in your everyday life, you don't take it so seriously. You don't naturally default into sort of these like addictive loops, because you realize that, this is all an illusion anyways. It's like, that's the sort of fun part to understand, is I think, because, being a spiritual person, right? Like, really integrating spiritual energy or altered states, a lot of it really is returning to the core idea that we don't have to take this reality so seriously. Like, this is true, right? It's like, life is not meant to be taken so seriously. This is a very fundamental truth. And when you say, even just embrace a genuine spiritual experience, you come to this deep-seated realization that you don't have to take this life so seriously. You don't have to take yourself so seriously. You don't have to hold on to these models and ideas of reality because you're, wait, this is all illusionary. And you can just laugh. You can just laugh like a child. Just laugh at a child like everything. Just tap into your inner child, like, wow, like this is all hilarious game, because it is, right? I think that's a important part of the sort of spiritual quest, is returning to that realization that this is all just, it's a beautiful play, it's a game. You don't have to take this life very seriously, or just take it so seriously, because that's what the material world does. When we're so addicted to this material world, all we focus on is polarity, is duality. We focus on the fear-based models that root us in the material world. Why? Because we're convinced that this is real. This is all that is. And the fundamental truth is that's not the way it is. So when you begin to engage in these things that put the material world in perspective, then suddenly you're free. Suddenly you realize, oh, this is all an illusion. I can laugh at the sky and be like, wow, I didn't have to take any of this so seriously anyways. And it's beautiful. It's very beautiful. Because it's a thing that a lot of like shamans, they speak of this, and people in those like spiritual communities, is that a lot of spiritual masters or gurus, they have very good senses of humor, right? They just laugh at everything. They make jokes. They realize, the core truth of all these things.
Remember us? You did the jump.
Oh yes, yeah, from over there, yeah.
Are you a YouTuber?
I am, yeah.
Oh, you are? What's your channel?
It's Shay. It's like ASE with the little symbol on it.
Oh, do you do guitar?
I do, yeah. Yeah, feel free.
What songs do you do?
I mainly do like improvisation and like I make songs, yeah, but yeah, feel free. No, it's like you can ASE.movement. That's the thing you search to find it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I found you. You have 1,000 followers.
Yeah. I recently just hit the 1,000 mark. Yeah.
Oh.
We're going up in the world.
You're live right now.
Yeah.
Going up in the world.
Yeah, that's me.
Hello. We're live.
What's good, yo?
Yo. We're live. Bro.
That's legendary.
Yo.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
That's dope.
I subscribe.
Legendary. Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you guys, or see you guys again. What's your guys' names, by the way? David and Vlad? What's good, Ryan? Peace. That's funny, those dudes. Basically, actually, I was talking on my other stream. I literally was like, I was running through the forest going for a cold plunge, and they were basically just doing this thing where they're like recording jumps. And I randomly was just like, because I do forest parkour all the time, so I just did like a cartwheel kick off the thing, which was legendary. And they were just like, whoa, and I was like, sick. That was good times. Anyways, but yeah, basically my whole core point is, the more you allow yourself to connect with like a spiritual integration, you see the deeper context of things, you realize that there's a core truth that life is not supposed to be taken so seriously. And even if we root this even deeper, kind of like I was just saying a second ago, and it's kind of funny, those dudes, those dudes are kids. Like, there's an elementary school up there, but they're a perfect example. Like, those are, connecting with your inner child. And I feel like it's interesting, even when you like meet children, you like see their energy, their like inner child energy. It's just like such a clear reminder from the universe to be like, that's the point. Like, we're supposed to just be playful. We're supposed to just not take this world so seriously. And I feel like, when I look at my life, I feel very blessed that a lot of what I do, truthfully, is I just connect creatively with my inner child. Like, a majority of how I spend my time, if I'm not live streaming and I'm not doing like cold plunges or strength training, I'm literally just like dancing and writing random music and just kind of having fun, like just, doing whatever. And I feel that's a really, really important part of life. That's legendary. I want you to help be less uncool, man. Gotta be willing. I'm so confused, bro. Bro, I swear, what is going on? He was so far back in the comments. Yeah. I'm back. I'm back in the update. I think it's because this homie, well, Jack or Commander, he's just like spamming. He's spamming hardcore. What's good? Welcome, Teatro. Welcome, brother. Eat the weed, smoking is lame. I think marijuana as a whole is probably not the move. And I say this as a dude that lives in Canada that has it, completely legalized and everyone smokes it. I smoked weed for like 5-6 years and haven't for 11 years. Life is way better objectively, in my opinion, without it. Today is frosty as fuck. Yeah. Bro, I'm so confused here, man. Jack, like, whoever, Jack, Commander, whatever moniker is, like, bro, I'm so confused why you're on this channel. Like, no hate towards you, bro. You're here for the vibe, for the ride, but like, I'm so like this. I don't think this is your kind of YouTube channel, my man. I mean, I'm sure you're just jesting, but still, it's kind of like, bro, what? Let me see if I can kind of disconnect this for a sec. Oh, there we are. That's such a trip, though, to find those kids that just like instantly just like check out the YouTube, and I'm just like, whoa, what the? That's great. Time out. Let's give you 30 minutes. I'm not gonna time you out for that long. We all love here, but yeah. Can't say I don't like spamming in the chat. So many pagans nowadays prefer not to use the name of deities and refer to the spiritual energies instead. Interesting. I must say, just from the brief dialogue or monologue, it's interesting. You seem like an interesting individual, Queen Brienne. And I welcome that kind of otherworldly, well, pagan energy. I have to say, I haven't met one pagan or person that practices paganism that's not like dope as fuck. So I'm sure they exist, but I don't know. Also, of course, I live in British Columbia, so the people in the like Vancouver art community, the sort of like, yeah, creative spiritual community, they're pretty strong. It's like a strong community. A lot of cool people. I think I just need gloves. I think this is just the answer in general. I just need to get a good pair of gloves. Timed out for 1.8k seconds. What's going on, Ben? A little bit, yeah. This is the truth. Energies exist. Unfortunately, we can see them. Yeah. It's funny, like, I speak of this very openly, where I'm very connected to the 3D. Like, I feel like I'm quintessentially like an example of a person that never really interacts with like otherworldly entities. Like, I'm kind of just, in this 3D reality. But I feel like as I've began to practice things like Qigong, I actually do physically feel like I can feel energy, I can tap into energy, I can circulate energy, I can send energy into things. And I mean, often for me, I don't think much about that. I don't know, I do Qigong, I just send love around me. And I dance a lot. And I meet really beautiful human beings and I dance with them and connect through dance. And for me, that is like an in-depth level of connecting through energy, of, inspiring through energy, of creating waves within your reality. Is just like, yeah. So it's almost like, I'm a strong believer in sort of like connecting with the spiritual context of things, but not necessarily doing it from a place of the mind trying to comprehend it. What's the neighbor's cat? Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Just intrigued. Yeah, she's always.
Nice cat.
Yeah, she's such an interesting kind of. Yeah, this cat.
He wants to play.
Yeah, such a good cat. Yeah, she comes actually into my backyard and just hangs out. Yeah.
He lives close by you.
What's that?
He lives very close
Yeah, she's
by
like she's right in front. She lives like a house beside. Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have a nice day. Yeah. Enjoy the. Yes. Such a nice day outside of being freezing cold. Again, though, it's funny. It's like beyond not being able to play guitar necessarily, I love the cold. Like the cold weather is beautiful. I embrace it. But playing guitar is another story. Definitely need more circulation. The thing I notice is sort of what I comment on about the different dimensions of streaming, right? It's like, there's the streams where you're like adventuring with the real world, right? You're just out in the real world, just kicking it, right? And then, of course, there's streams where you're just chilling, indoors, kind of holding space, creating that sort of dynamic. Very different sort of styles of streaming, but they both hold such value. Yeah, that cat is magical, guy. I swear that's like one of the few cats where she's like an Egyptian sort of breed, blue eyes, like white and gold fur, but she's like really intelligent. Like that cat is like really, really bold and really intelligent. Cold is rare in Vancouver. I don't know. I guess it's like usually raining a lot, but yeah, it's rare to be up in Westwood. This is like, higher Coquitlam, so it's definitely colder. Like it's actually, it'll be snowing here in Westwood, where most places it won't be snowing at all. It's kind of just a high Coquitlam thing. I love it up here though. It's a very beautiful atmosphere. Phenomenal. I'll be honest too, because like a part of the cold I feel that's so beautiful, because surely there's cold exposure, right? There's like exposing yourself to the cold, like be it plunging in a freezing cold river, like I like to do. But even just, I think, immersing yourself in the cold, embracing the cold, is very powerful. It's very healing. Like if you're just outside, or if maybe you're snowboarding, you're just out inside of the cold. And you embrace it, it's very good for the body, strangely enough. Now, of course, that depends on your relationship with the cold, but for me, I love it. I deeply love the cold. Of course, I also love the warmth. I love warm weather a ton, but you just gotta love it all. You gotta just love it all. I'm happy though to be back in my room, so I have my studio set up in full action. Okay. Very nice. Flip on a little foreground. Some gold lights. Hell yeah. Tight. Whoa, it's glitched out here. Very nice. Do I like sushi? Very much, actually. That's actually my go-to, it's kind of like my go-to celebration food for some reason, is sushi, and also tacos. Yeah, but that's often like if I'm going on a date or something, always sushi or tacos, yeah. My diet, my diet is actually, that's kind of a, that's the thing, is my diet's like, how do I say this? Well, it's like, kind of like the most quintessentially healthy diet you could ever imagine. It's like, I'm kind of like an outlier in the way I experience food. I mean, I love my diet. I cook lots of like sweet potatoes, lots of rice, quinoa. I'm a vegetarian, so I've been vegetarian for 11 years. But the idea is that, yeah, I have a very healthy diet. And, you know, as an athlete, because I'm also calisthenic and like parkour athlete of sorts, I eat very, very healthy. So, yeah, and I love it. I love eating healthy very much. You say something about sponsorship opportunity. I think your form of spirituality probably scares fewer people than mine. Interesting. For me, the fear is a part of life I find power in conforming or confronting and learning to live with. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Queen Brienne. So yes, breathing is good. Breathing is just magic. My grandpa is teaching me to see energies everywhere. Very curious child and taught me to ready dreams. You continuously, yeah, you continuously confirm that you're a really interesting individual, Yastra. And I agree, brother. You know, I feel like, again, I spoke of this very openly yesterday, how Qigong, I really feel like I don't know, it's weird. It's weird that I'm not already just doing Qigong like hours a day, because I've been speaking about so much in my streams and with people in my life, but beautiful, life-changing practice, like learning to connect with energy, whether it's like, you know, just entering a meditative state, or if you're, say, doing free-form dance, or learning to feel and connect with energy. Life-changing practices. Like, I can't express that enough. Yeah. You say something about the sponsorship opportunity. Oh yes, you meant with the shorts. I mean, I think that's a good idea, brother. Why not boost each other? You know, we're in the same niche. I think it sounds like a brilliant idea. Yeah, my Instagram is neurohacker. Like I followed you, yeah, recently, but it's actually, yeah, my recent post, my long post about sharing. Oh, word, you can see, wow, I can see the beautiful nature on my little live stream. But yeah, on my recent post right here, at the very end of it, right here, so neurohacker. So neurohacker with the second R. You can kind of see that. That's, so neurohacker with the second R deployed. Yeah, and you can find the post right there. And yeah, for that, feel free. I guess, yeah, I just made that an hour ago, but feel free, if you desire to share music that has really connected with you, you know, that has really opened your heart and allowed you to connect with like a sacred context. Now, of course, that can be literally any music, but the emphasis of what I desire to share, as you know, the musicians that I shared, is music that's literally inspired me to basically like almost fall in love with the divine nature of being a musician. And that's actually, just to articulate it that way, that's actually again the core essence of what my channel is I want people to like learn to bridge the worlds with how music can open your heart and connect you spiritually. Now, of course, it can do that without trying to, consciously do that, or, enter the more like almost primal spiritual dimensions. But for me, it's like there's certain musicians that I feel like they so unapologetically connect and channel the spirit, the source. Like they really, it's such a intuitive thing. And I feel like I've been fortunate to sort of go on that path myself the last few years. Yeah. Yeah, I got you, dog. Running is backwards, FYI. Ah. Running is backwards. Huh. I didn't see the backwards. I see what you mean. Yeah, the writing is backwards. Because it's like everything's mirrored. Okay. Yeah, but that's interesting. That's good to know. That's good to know. I forgot everything's inverted for some reason. But yes, my post though, if you check for Floyd, yeah, it's right there, brother. It's like Ashe under my post, like if you go to posts, my recent post, I put my Instagram in there. Man, though, speaking of multi-dimensional, kind of what I was speaking earlier, where like reality, is not multi-dimensional. A lot of things that we experience, it's like, it can operate in a way that basically transcends the models of how we think things operate in a one-dimensional way. What I like about YouTube is it is a perfect example. Like the growth, the process, the essence of navigating the world of YouTube, particularly as a YouTube creator, in my experience, is a perfect example of something that is multidimensional. You have to almost like look at it from a very a vast sort of intricate puzzle. You have to sort of look at it from a larger context to see clearly how it works. Very nice. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'd love to be what I am as you love yourself and as pure soul. That's very kind. That's very kind. Absolutely, for sure, Teatro. I'm not sure what you're inferring. If you mean, yeah, but I feel you. Like I'll be honest. Like, I am a musician, and obviously, I've been a passionate musician since I was like 12 or whatever. But I really feel all the layers, that I've spoken of. Is like, I think there's just so much to be grateful for that has allowed me to be, the spirit that I am, to allow me to just, give myself permission to just to be me, right? And this is where how I like to express this is performance art as a whole, all of it, performance art in its highest form. So whether it's like, and even beyond, of course, like I love philosophy, I love understanding, like for me, like romanticizing life in a sort of philosophical context, that is like such a deeply woven part of myself. It's like I've been in love with philosophy since I was like 15 or 14 years old. It's like that's when I like really began to just become enamored with philosophy. And yeah, it's like at the same time I started to learn about, dance and movement pathways and just like, and I have to say, like, I see this over and over and over again in my channel. I know this channel is about music, it's about like sort of like spirituality in a sense, but dance, like seriously, dance is the portal. Dance is the like bridger, the connector of worlds. It is the connector that bridges worlds between your mind, your energy body, and your body. Like I cannot, advocate enough. All I'm simply saying is if you can learn to really connect with dance in a dance community, this is a life-changing endeavor. And I'll be honest, a lot of the way I operate is basically profoundly influenced from my love for dance. Like, again, I'm a tutter, like liquid, popping, locking. Like, I've been dancing for many, many years, and I love everything to do with it. I love the people I meet. I love the community of every single dimension of it. It is magic. Dance is like an extraordinary portal. And I'll be honest, again, the way I am as a musician is a direct echo of the way I am as a dancer. It's like there are like mirroring creative pathways, and even as I spoke of, the way that I learned to improvise on the guitar was from emulating the way that I've learned to dance in improv. For me, it's all the same portal. Same portal, same movement pathways, different application. So, yeah, if you ever desire to sort of embody, just an unapologetic, free spirit in essence and really like enliven your soul, I'll be honest, the portal is dance. It is. I love music. Music is a sacred portal to me as well. It's just expressive, it's powerful, it's beautiful, it's challenging, it grows your mind, it expands your mind, but dance is like the bridger of worlds that for me is like, it gives me so much life. It gives me so much life and gratitude that it happens to just like flow through into my ability to express myself musically. Yeah. Anyway. And Thomas Scott, thanks for reaching out. Consider us of that. Huh. Right. Thrasher. Elizabeth. Sweet. Interesting name. Very interesting. Oh, that seems like that's spam. I got followed by some sort of spam bot. Okay.
You are getting the optimal.
Andrew Huberman. Yo, okay, one sec. Sorry, I didn't see the. My brother's watching, so the pan flute brings up the inner caveman. That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, that's truly what I feel to Queen Brienne is like this instrument is like. I spoke of this very openly. Like I had a session where my guitar actually died, my batteries died, and I just sat there and played the pan flute for like 40 minutes. And this instrument, I swear, I love many instruments like the piano and like violin and guitar, of course, and electric guitar, but this instrument's like a very sacred portal. Like it's an ancient instrument. It's just bamboo. It's literally just an allotment of bamboo, an arrangement of bamboo. It was like transmuting air. It's transmuting breath into sound. It's just magic. It's pure magic. And it's kind of like, it's what my one friend, she said, is like, this is like it sounds like it's a prayer. It's like the pan flute is like a prayer. It's like a ritual. The sound of it. It's not like just an instrument. It's like a prayer and a ritual. Yeah, which I agree. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. It needs to be related to the guitar tuning. Like, how are the different ways you can tune a guitar? You mean the pan flute? That's the thing is the pan flute. I guess yeah. If you're still here, it actually the pan flute you tune with the corks inside of it, so you can tune it a step down or a step higher. but you typically tune it a step down easier, and you bend into the notes. So this is a key. This is a key. So basically, each one has basically 1.5. It's like 25 pipes or whatever I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So 22 pipes, and each one is 1.5. So, yeah, it's pretty diverse. Peace, brother. Peace, brother. Be well. Ashe. Yes, yes. Hand movements prevent cognitive decline. I can see that. Well, that's the thing is like, before, this is the thing. This is the bizarre thing is, for me, I used to be very fundamentally awkward and bad at dance. You know, when I was younger, when I was like, 15 years old, I was like new to the dance community, didn't know how to dance, didn't know what tutting was, didn't know what dance was. And for me, like when I first started to dance, it's like I was doing like these like finger waves and liquid and basic movements, right? For me, it was a means of rooting myself in my body. It's like similar to guitar. It's like your body is really activating. You're activating your nervous system, which is the same as qigong, which is why dance is very similar to qigong. But the idea is you're rooting yourself in your body. So your mind, if you're anxious, if you're ungrounded, if you're dysregulated, via your nervous system, via your mind, immediately you are feeling more grounded when you're dancing. And this is actually how it began for me. As a kid, it was like, if I was anxious, I would just start dancing. It's kind of just like, oh, if I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling ungrounded, just start dancing. And as a full-grown adult, now it's like I don't have anxiety very often, sometimes, but very rarely. And the idea is that for me, dancing is actually the opposite. It's not a means of grounding myself. I don't dance if I'm feeling anxious or whatever. It's the opposite. It's an empowerment. I do it to almost like, just like enter a portal that shows I'm so focused. I can do it while I'm talking. I can do it while I'm doing anything. It's like a very fluent state for me. And even further, when I'm on a dance floor, I'm connecting with other people I've never met, I can get in fluent flow states where I'm perfectly hitting every beat, and I'm basically going into a dancing performance. And that's where dancing becomes a very potent portal. It's like, and yeah, an extension to what she's saying about hand movements are good for the mind is like, they're very good for the mind. They're good for the body, they're good for the hands naturally. Like my hands have an insane amount of strength, because it's basically like I'm doing a form of physiotherapy. But of course, it's also like a brain game, much like guitar. And I'm doing this to know music, but the thing is, you'll notice, like, if I were to play, actually I don't want to get copyrighted, but if I were to play some electronic music, right? The things that electronic music does that you can emulate through dance is very beautiful. It's very transcendent. It's basically like, I'll probably do this after the stream. I'm just going to pop on some electronic music and just slip into a dance flow state and just do some crazy stuff. And then if you do that, on a dance floor with a bunch of human beings, suddenly, like, you've just transcended everything. It's great. Yeah. So it's the same for me in theater. Try to enter the deeply in your music. Find movements. Yeah, it's like, the thing for me is like, as a musician for most of my life, and a dancer and acrobatic and whatever, acting is a very new realm for me. I did it as a kid, like, 'cause as a twin, I was hired for twin work when I was like 9 years old. But the thing that I see is acting. What I'm intrigued about acting is I want to eventually learn to enter an acting flow state. Like, say, you're just like a person like me. I'm just a person. And I start to just like enter a character. At random, I'm just like, boom, full unapologetic character. I can't do that right now. Maybe I could, but I wouldn't do it fluently. Where it's just like you're entering a like cathartic emotional release that is a character you're playing. And I feel like that's what I am intrigued to enter in the acting dimension, is I want to basically unapologetically enter characters. Just like, boom, enter a character, and suddenly it is. And it's just like unapologetically, it's just you become. I think that'd be super cool. So how to burn the bottom lips instrument for me. Huh. Thank you for letting us know. You've had a journey in improving movements, dance, and rhythm of guitar. Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, it's kind of funny because I've been doing all these things like guitar and dance, yeah, for like 16 years and whatnot. But the thing that I like to make really clear is I'm not naturally talented at anything. Like, that's the weird thing is like, when I was younger, I was a young kid that was like, you know, pretty ambitious, pretty happy, but also had very little natural talent, like nothing. Like, I mean nothing. Like, when I picked up a guitar, I was not naturally good at it for like 7, 8 years. When I started dancing, I wasn't good at dancing for like 7, 8 years. I'm telling you, it's like it took me so many years to get good at anything. Now, fast forward, 16 years, coming up 16, 17 years, I'm pretty damn good at these things. But it took me a long time. So that's why I kind of like when I look very objectively at like people that are just like, I was never good, or failure, this, that, or it's like, for whatever reason, it's okay. Like, their life took them in whatever pathway they do. It's like, I was never naturally good at anything. Like, I wouldn't say anything. I think I was pretty good at maybe like poetry or something, or pretty good with linguistics. Like, I'm very naturally, very good at communicating and articulating. But beyond that, it's like, I swear, it's like, I've just like everything I've ever done, I've had to work extremely hard to get good at. And of course, after 16, 17 years of doing something like consistently for hours and hours and hours for many years of your life, of course you're going to get good at it. But yeah. Remembering trauma, the music felt different. Movements flowed more. That's the thing is, I could go off in a long tangent, but obviously creative art forms, like if we're talking about transmuting energy, transmutation is taking raw energy, often it's blocked energy via trauma, via dysregulated energy and all these different things, and you're learning to honor it, to integrate it. Basically what I'm saying is catharsis is a very real thing. Catharsis via movement, via dance, via music and creation of music. And long story short, I genuinely believe there's basically no domain of trauma that you cannot transmute into powerful, beautiful, creative expression. And for me, I'll be honest, like, dance is my chosen portal. Songwriting, singing, guitar is also a part of that. But for me, dance is the thing I do so often. I feel like it's the thing, like, this is the way I see it. For me, a lot of things in my life, I've associated a lot of like pressure, a lot of expectations. No matter how much I tried to shed it, for guitar, I literally had so much criticism, pressure, perfectionism that I had to transcend for many years. It took me so long to not. I've only been probably not critical on myself probably for like maybe 4 years. Out of 16 years, 4 of those years, I've actually not been like excruciatingly critical on myself. But for dance, for whatever reason, I don't exactly know why. I mean, maybe for a couple years, when I'm like meet other people and I was like critical but and self-conscious of movements, but for some reason dance is a thing that I pursued out of pure passion. Like, my ability to dance, I never told myself, oh, we're gonna be a professional performance, whatever. No, I was like, dance was just a thing. It was a game. It was a complex game that I was like, I'm just gonna do this forever because it's so fucking fun. And like, that's the thing, is dance has always been a thing that I've just pursued purely out of passion, out of just the love for it. There's not been a single time where my mind's like, okay, let's do this because we're gonna professionally do this and then we'll take this to some degree. No, my mind never created that connection. Did I say twin work? I mean, I have a twin. I don't know what twin work is exactly. Oh yeah, twin work. Yeah, like twin work in the film industry. It's like they hire twins to be in like commercials and stuff. So yeah, twin work. Cool. bro, I'm so confused. I'm so confused with you, character. Like, you're just pure unhinged. I'm not sure what's your... What? What are you doing here, Jack? What's good, Stargazer? Welcome. Welcome. Ah. Interesting. Awesome. I'm friends with your older look-alike brother. Ah. Wait, what? Interesting. That's very cool. Huh. So, I mean, you're friends with my older brother? Or you're just saying, like, there's a person that looks like me? Interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, I have an older brother. Doesn't look like me, but then I have a twin who's my younger brother. Well, 2 minutes younger, but yeah. Music. I agree, Stargazer. I agree so much. Music is beautiful. Let's see. Let's open up my live on my computer. Do some weird duo screen action. There I am. There I am. Person looks just like you. That's legendary. That's so funny, especially since streaming, you know, being a streamer. I have so many people tell me I look like a lot of people, like different rappers, different musicians, different actors, of course, which is great, you know, high praise. Yo, thank you. Yeah, I love this shirt. I do love this shirt. Oh. Thank you, good night. I made a geodesic dome. Huh. That's wicked. I mean, yeah. I'm not sure what that is, but that sounds pretty cool. My finger's now officially warm once again so I can play guitar. Let's kind of master this a little bit. Probably yes. Yes. DI, of course. Yes, of course. So weird seeing myself on my YouTube screen. Super weird. So maxed out. That'll do. Yo, what's good, Cap? What's good, Cap K? Hexagons, pentagons. That sounds super dope, I must say. That sounds beautiful. Bless. I like the... Oh, damn. Gotta arrange my studio space here a bit. $4.24. Yeah, DI, yes. Why does it sound so weird? What's going on here? Let's throw one of these babies out here. It's so weird typing on my thing. Speak into my own stream. Resonate. Resonates. Subscribe. Shameless self-promotion, yeah. This is a little bit unmastered. That's okay. I like that. I like that. That came out very good. Let's get these cups out of the way. Feels like it's so unmastered, that's just jarring, bro. Whoa. That's full volume. It's partially. Oh, damn. Appreciate that, friend. Sending love from Canada. DI. Whoa. What is actually happening here? That's legendary. Yeah, I know you were early on supporting me, brother. Super dope. Honestly, that was a crazy time, my guys. Like, that was such a pivotal moment of, like, hopping from, like, 250 to, like, 850 or something in, like, 2.5 weeks. Like, that was beautiful. That was, like, the magic of YouTube, bro. I was like, bro, I never thought I would actually, like, hop to that degree. That was great. That's kind of, like, low-key what's, like, kind of, I've been, like, chasing that high, so to speak. I'm just like, all right, like, I gotta find the next way to unlock, you know, this algorithmic momentum. I'm pretty confident in my ability to do it. It's like I just gotta sort of keep on navigating the community, keep doubling down my intention. But it blows my mind the way YouTube works sometimes. Man, I don't know why. I mastered this earlier today and it sounded so beautiful, but then I'm just gonna disconnect my guitar from there. Happy Friday, absolutely. Celebrate. We've made it. Made it into this place. Yeah. I'm actually super hyped for this weekend. I mean, I'm always hyped. I'm always hyped for the weekend. I'm always hyped pretty much every day, but it's like, it's crazy how I feel like, yeah, pretty stoked to just go to the gym next couple hours, you know, do some awesome gym stuff, going to a show tomorrow, glitch hop show, seeing some good friends, doing some good dancing. Like, damn, just like, hell yeah, brother. Definitely gonna master that sound. Yeah, bro, honestly, the dance community, especially in BC, Vancouver, is phenomenal. It's great. It's very fun. Yeah. 20% battery. Crazy. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Vancouver is pretty chill. I mean, it's Vancouver, so it's like kind of crazy, chaotic city. But I'm not from Vancouver. I'm in Coquitlam, but I visit Vancouver, you know, all the time, especially for the nightlife. And yeah, it's a vibe. It's a beautiful place. When you know exactly where to go, you know, connect with the dance community, connect with the music community. It's like, it is a blast. Very nice. So it's 4:34. Super cool. Synth guitar would be crazy. Absolutely, that's actually, synth just goes beautifully with so much. You know, it's really just like, I feel like dimensions of piano and guitar, they complement each other so well, so beautifully. Where's this bell of mine? Talking about ecstatic dance. That I am. I'm talking about raves and ecstatic dances. Yeah. I basically go to like every single one. Where is this bell? Oh, I gotta. Oh yeah, it's in my bag. It's in my bag. Yeah. I'm curious. Are you familiar, Jack or Commander? Yeah, they're both the same person, but yeah, if you're familiar, like ecstatic dances, they're like the same. I've never done that, and that's the experience. Very nice. Yeah, honestly, for me, like obviously I've been in the rave community for like 16 years now, and I'm sober. Like I've been raving sober for like 11 years. Where did I place this? Oh yeah, the front pocket. But yeah, the idea is that like, man, whether you're talking about ecstatic dances, you know, underground, like down tempo bass experimental raves, they're all just so fun. Like there is such an awesome dance community. So I've never done that before and had the experience. Okay. So you mean connecting in an ecstatic dance? Ah. I'd say yeah, definitely. For me, like I'm a tutter. Like I dance. I've connected with dance for many years, and I kind of I was speaking about this earlier. Is I spend a lot of time, almost like connecting and circulating energy through dance, through movement. So, whether when I go to the gym, like when I go to the gym, I literally just like do strength training, I train handstand push-ups, and I do qigong, and I flow it all together. Like it's kind of like you just get to this place where you're circulating energy and circulating this in your body. And I actually do the same thing if I go to like a rave or an ecstatic dance. Is I'm just like slip into dance flow states, just moving energy for hours and hours. And honestly, I can't get enough of it. I swear, I've spent so much money. Like literally every single week, probably the last 3 months, I've been just going to raves and sober raves and ecstatic dances, and it's just free dopamine. It's free dopamine. It really does. I mean, that's the thing is I'm a strong advocate of basically almost like if you understand Joe Dispenza's work, right? Joe Dispenza speaks very openly of the relationship that we form between the mind, like the psychological mind, the psychological body, the neurological body, and our physiological body, and how they influence each other. It's almost like in the simplest right. There's a lot of cutting edge research that is basically really just examining the relationships that we form, with our thoughts, and how this affects our immune system, how this affects, our neurochemistry, how this affects our entire physiological body, and vice versa. So very simply, yeah, it's like the deeper that you form a relationship with your body, be it your somatic nervous system, be it your physiological body, you can actually influence your psychological body and your neurological body, and vice versa. They're all intrinsic. They all interweave endlessly. So very simply, what I'm saying is the deeper relationship that you form with your body, say you're doing qigong, you're dancing, you're training, strength training, do all these things, or you're activating your body. This is like a portal. This is like it's like a conduit. It's an entry point into learning to hone and sharpen the mind, and it goes in many different directions. I typically do. Well, on my streams, I talk about this kind of stuff relentlessly, but beautifully enough, actually, yeah, that's what I'm gonna record for long format YouTube content. Because I made this channel about, I teach people guitar, I do like various types of content, but what I want to do actually moving forward in this channel is basically just have monologues and dialogues, actually. I want to collaborate with other creators, bring them on my channel, and just have open, beautiful discussions about exactly those things. And many, many, many different things. But yeah. I've actually been talking with a wonderful friend of mine who's she's a content creator, lovely individual, and I actually met her like many years ago, and she's also a content creator. She's like very philosophical, very profound individual, and yeah, recently I've been kind of like reconnecting, being like, just expressing how much I would love to collaborate with her. So expect this in the near future. You know, here you heard it here first. Is I'm going to 1000% be doing some very beautiful talks and collaborations. So I'm stoked on that. Am I poly? I've practiced polyamory, yes. I haven't recently. I had a monogamous relationship for a year and a half. Phenomenal relationship. I exited that about 3 months ago, and I found myself recently explore, a new relationship. So far, it's kind of like we haven't really established it as monogamous. It's almost like I would say it's like the perfect, healthiest, like ethical non-monogamy relationship I've ever had. But I'll be honest, you know, full disclosure, I often practice non-monogamy. I love it. It works very well for me. And I'll be honest, the cornerstone of if you're practicing monogamy, non-monogamy, doesn't really matter necessarily. It's about having very strong communication skills. Like if you can effectively practice open communication, you know how to honor people's boundaries, honor consent, and navigate all those nuances, then you will succeed in a relationship if it's non-monogamy or monogamy. I like both. I've successfully had both types of relationships. Bros found the cheat code to life. Be as strong as you are. Goodness. Thank you. That's your niche, for sure. That's beautiful. So it's the first 3 months. First 3 months of this relationship, yes. We've been together for like about a month and a half. Super dope month and a half. I gotta say, I've been like super happy. But so now it's all starting to make sense. I suppose so, bro. Yeah, nah, that being said, it's like, again, it's like I'm like a quintessential example of a guy that for whatever reason, I believe in navigating the perimeters of relationships. That is, expressing openly what you feel are healthy perimeters and honoring that. And honestly, let's be real here. I think a lot of people suck at that. And even extension off that, not to throw shade at the modern person, but I do this sometimes where I like to kind of just, I don't know, almost like poke holes. And I feel like a lot of I don't know, almost like what's the word? The dichotomy of a lot of like people in modern 2026. But yeah, a lot of people are just not very good at communication. It's unfortunate. It's not the end of the world, but that's just the reality. Is a lot of people, they, for whatever reason, they have not strengthened this core ability to communicate. And we're talking about forming romantic relationships. Communication is literally everything. It's like that will make or break your ability to, I don't know, form something inevitably. But yeah. Anyway, keep it cool. Take your time. Don't rush. A lot like to rush. Yeah. Well, that's the thing to Wide Awake. I mean, I have a deep awareness of, I'd say, what I desire in a relationship, what I value in a relationship. I have an awareness of my value. And, I was in a relationship for, again, about a year and 3 months. Really awesome, probably the best relationship I've had in my life. But I consciously chose to exit it, mainly because I wanted something more emotionally and spiritually fulfilling. And also, I'll be perfectly honest, my previous partner, her her communication skills were just lacking. Like, it was not, there's nothing profoundly personal, but it was like I knew how much I value communication. And my recent partner, she's a phenomenal communicator, like phenomenal. She's hilarious, she's fun, she's like emotionally intelligent, creatively intelligent. It's just like hits all the marks in my books. And again, I'm not in any place to rush it. I'm not attached egoically to her, to this or that. Like, it's like I feel like that's a part of what I love about this recent relationship. It's so emotionally mature. And that's just the default. It's like immediately. It's like the context, the tone, the amount of communication it's just awesome. It feels good. It feels great. So I feel grateful for that, because I'll be honest, it was difficult. It's always difficult to like leave a relationship that you've been for a while, that you're comfortable with. Or like, wow, like this feels like to some degree, a really like a powerful thing. But of course, I did so with autonomy, or I was like, I'm consciously aware of why I'm gonna disconnect from this. But yeah, it's very interesting. Again, I think what I'm simply saying is, in modern society, a lot of us seem to not have great communication skills. We seem to struggle in navigating the waters of romantic relationships. But I'll be perfectly honest, I don't blame them. I don't blame people. It's like in modern 2026, we have a lot of weird maladaptive programming that is working against us. Maybe it's even like our generational roots. How we were raised wasn't really fundamentally fully developed. Like a lot of us, like I like to talk about this a lot, is a lot of us on a very fundamental level. Like this is a very core piece of it, is a lot of us on a fundamental level are operating out of underdeveloped models. And every right of what that is. Like if you look at it and be like, wait, why is this, that, the other? A lot of us were like operating out of these not fully developed psychological and dopaminergic models. Like it's like if there was a way, and the reason for this, I'll be perfectly honest, like I've thought about this a lot, is because of our phones and social media. Now, of course, this doesn't categorize everybody, but this categorized me for a number of years, and I feel like I see this parallel a lot. It's like a lot of us, we're like operating on this place where we're trying to like apply these like underdeveloped models of how reality is, underdeveloped models of how this, that, the other thing is. And it's like all we really need to do is like get to this place where we allow ourselves to look at the world in a mature model, like mature ourselves, fully develop these models of how we communicate, of how we perceive the world, of how we perceive ourselves. Anyway. Yeah, I'm curious though. I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying, Wide Awake, about your sincere interest in me speaking about developing one's relationship with your body in relation to say like qigong, energetic practice, dance. Because I'll be honest, before I created this YouTube channel, like I started this YouTube channel probably about 6.5 months ago, and my first niche was I was teaching people dance. Like that was my first idea for a YouTube channel. I mainly focused Facebook. I did TikTok. I'll be honest, I don't like TikTok, but but yeah, it's like I basically went and I changed my direction. I was, what if I teach people guitar? Because guitar is like my primary thing. It's basically a spiritual path. I don't know about I don't know about that, but I keep it real, my guy. I keep it I think it's important. Like I speak about this a lot. Like I won't go off into too deep of a tangent, but I think it's important to keep an open mind and open heart to what actually integrated spiritual energy looks like, and actually authentically integrated spiritual person looks like. And what I'm simply saying, oh damn, what I'm simply saying is most people, like if you ask somebody like, hey, what is your quintessential example of what a spiritual person is, they might have some picture in their head of like, oh yeah, it's this person, wearing this shamanic robe and I don't know, maybe like doing all these practices. Maybe that is, I don't know, maybe that person is spiritually enlightened. But I'll be perfectly honest, in my experience, a lot of the most authentically connected spiritual people are often not what you sort of paint the picture in your mind. They're just a person. They're just a regular ass person that's living their life, that is just living authentically. And they've, integrated certain things. And like that's I think one of the most like powerful paradoxes you'll see is like a lot of people were lost in these models like, oh yeah, but this is what this is like a spiritually healed, integrated person looks like, where in essence, a lot of these things are kind of deceiving. And I'll be honest, the reason why this is because there's a lot of, spiritual ego is the term that a lot of people sort of figure. Yeah. I would love to. I mean, the funny thing is I have literally insane amounts of streams. I stream every day pretty much. Sometimes twice, 3 times a day. And I have so much content, well, like streams that are recorded that I actually literally have like probably 2 weeks of streams that I just got to sift through and be like, okay, should I record some clips? Should I take this, release this content? Part of me kind of just accepts. So I'm like, maybe I'll record these things. Maybe I'll just let it be immortalized in the stream space. Like, I don't know. Anyway. Do the bell, yeah. I swear, this is the thing, is the bell is like... This is like a... It's like a pause. Just a moment to just... this in here. But yeah, anyways. Don't let the tube creeps get into your kindness and spirit. Yeah. I have respect for you to try again and try something more fitting. That's kind of you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you wide. Appreciate you wide awake. Yeah, I really feel it's like, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in pulling the trigger and being a YouTuber, right? These last 6 months or 6.5 or whatever it's been, right? And the core thing that I will say is probably the most valuable thing is basically, being open to reinventing yourself, being open to be like, wait a second, like, is what I'm doing, is the niche that I'm focusing, is the style of content that I'm creating, is the direction that I desire to go in YouTube, is this really in demand? Is there a target audience for this? Is this cohesive with the model of YouTube? It's almost like, I'll be honest, when I was new to YouTube, when I had the vision of like, okay, I'm going to be a YouTuber, I initially had so many limiting beliefs. And the most limiting belief was basically the thought that I thought I knew how to do this YouTube thing. I was like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. Like, I know how to create, or what I'm intuitively creating. This is the way, this is the path. But I basically had to humble myself. And you know what? Maybe I don't know shit. Like, how much, like, sure, I understand how to create content. I understand, what I find as inherently valuable. Like, this is the kind of key thing, is like, I understand what I find engaging. I understand what I find inherently attractive via content. But what we're talking about is creating a community. It's like you're trying to look at a larger dimension, a larger community of people that have different perceptions, that have different appeals, different perspectives. And basically, this is almost like a psychological, spiritual quest that content creators have to go on, where you basically have to step outside of your independent engagement. Whatever your mind thinks, but this is the way, but this is what I think is like, the answer. And you have to basically learn to unify your perspective with your audience, with your perceiver. And again, obviously, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to just create strictly solely for, the other people, but you got to step out of your own shoes and be like, you know what? How can I like really learn to offer value universally, that's universally received? Like, really step outside of what your own ego or your mind thinks that this is what is inherently valuable. And, how can I offer the most value to the collective? And it's a very like sobering thing. But once you like get to it, you humble yourself, and you know what? I want to figure out what actually works versus what you think will work. That's when you really begin to make success. That's when you see basically that you're bound to succeed, because you're learning to how to be adaptive, how to create content that is aligned with what the YouTube, algorithm and system is designed for. You're trying to basically help the YouTube system deliver its viewers to you, opposed to trying to work against it. It's just a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things. It's so surface in this timeline. Yeah. There's lots of, I think there's so many beautiful perspectives. Then the reality hit me like a damn freight train. Interesting. Are you saying the context? So the reality hit like a freight train. Are you saying you tried to become a content creator and you kind of got discouraged or dissuaded, from your vision? I think both videos and live stream. I agree. Honestly, I'll be honest, wide awake, because I've been doing this, like 6.5 months. I've been streaming for about 3-4 months tops, right? I am very convinced that in the larger picture, because I want to be a full-time content creator, like a full-time YouTuber. I'm very dedicated. Like, I feel like I could do that. And part of what that's going to look like, of course, it's not going to be like, burning myself 24/7, but I feel like I want to do every single quintessential thing that your classic, influencer, guitar, spiritual YouTuber, what they're going to do. I want to go all in. Like, I want to hit all the niches, so to speak. That's very cool. They was the stuff for 5 seconds. 5 rappers. That's a great question, Jack. I don't know. I don't think about that a lot, but... And no, I'm not bald. I actually have hair down to here. That's the reality. I have very long hair. I tie it up, and yeah, I put on this thing to keep it out of my face. If you do 5-minute videos on topics like tonight, go talk about those things and play music. I agree. I really appreciate your perspective, Wide Awake. You seem like a beautiful kindred spirit. Yeah, no, I'm on that path too. Like my recent video that got the most likes or the most engagement and views on my long form on YouTube, which is not a lot, obviously. It's like 250 views. It's not a lot, but it's objectively more than I've gotten. Is literally me just being like, "Hey, this is why you're not practicing your guitar," and then I just go off on a tangent about dopamine mechanics and instant and delayed gratification for like 6 minutes. I'm just like, just spitballing, intuiting it all. You're asking what my 5 favorite rappers are. I mean, that's pretty easy, bro. Like, that's pretty easy. Because, I mean, I went through a phase when I was like 15, 16 where I was really into rap. Rap's not my chosen genre, but I respect it a lot. So, obviously, Eminem is number one. Eminem is number one, easily. I'd say number two. Man. You gotta really think about that. Who's number two? Probably Childish Gambino. And, let's see. Number two is Childish Gambino. Number three, I'll be honest, this might not make sense, but I really like Baby No Money. Because I'm from Vancouver, I'm in Coquitlam, but Baby No Money's from Vancouver, and for some reason I really like meme rappers. So Baby No Money, he's probably in my number three. Number four, man, I don't think about rappers a lot, to be honest. Maybe like, I definitely like old school rap. Like, Tupac is pretty solid. What's it called? Biggie Smalls is phenomenal. Like, Biggie Smalls is definitely, like, up there. I'd say, yeah, maybe Dr. Well, no, Dr. Dre's great, but yeah, probably that, man. Oh, yeah, Kendrick Lamar is phenomenal, of course. Kendrick Lamar is, like, way up there. I don't actually listen to much Kendrick. I haven't since I was, like, 16, but when I was younger, I listened to tons of Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. So what order do you place the big three? Honestly, bro, I don't listen to Drake pretty much ever. I don't really listen to J. Cole. I listen Kendrick Lamar is like, yeah, he's like the GOAT, so that's easy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that wild. Yeah, wide awake. Thank you. Thank you. I think it'll be a great weekend. Yeah. Be well. Thank you for chiming in. Appreciate you coming to this, or yeah, chiming in this channel. Let's see. Analytics, customize. Yeah, it's getting pretty late. I'll probably head to the gym soon, make a bunch of food, and do some strength training. This has been chill, yeah. Talk about, what? Kawali, Farside Gangstar. Wait, what? I've never heard of that, brother. Never heard of that. Honestly, I have no idea who J. Cole is. I mean, recommend a song. Recommend a song, I'll check him out. But, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, bros. I mean, like, my music style is straight up, yeah, so hip-hop. Yeah, definitely Kendrick. I like Kendrick Lamar. Like, I like everything he's made, truthfully. But, again, like, that's the thing is, the full caveat is, my music style, I'm more leaning towards, like, 3 Days Grace, like, Breaking Benjamin, Avenged Sevenfold. Like, that's my roots. I eventually discovered rap when I was, like, 14, 15, but then I discovered electronic music. Like, I'll be honest, what I listen to a lot of is, I listen to a lot of, like, glitch hop, neuro hop, experimental, down-tempo. Like, I listen to crazy stuff. Stuff that in my mind, like, rap music is chill. It's great. Good lyrics. Really fun. But, and if I listen to it in a club or, like, at a rave, I'll be, like, in it. But the reality is, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of an artist called Atya. Or, like, Charles the First or Atya. These are, like, experimental artists that expand off of hip-hop. That are insane. Like, these artists are geniuses. That's the kind of music that I listen to. That I'll drop $30, $40 on a ticket any day of the week for, like, high-quality electronic music, which I do non-stop. Listen to their album Fall Off. Word, yeah, I'm down, man. Fall Off. J. Cole. Huh. J. Cole Fall Off album. Sounds so unmastered. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's crazy. And what's up with the, and yes, I think I'll just skip some comments. What is good? What is good, Sand? Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you listening. You're definitely a legend in your core. I love the core audience here. Like, it's funny because, like, you know, I try to balance these streams with, you know, creating music, performing music, and also just talking. Of course, I like to just like talk, you know, dialogue. This is like a huge part of what I love about streaming. But that being said, it's sometimes like, you know, I want to facilitate. I want to be like present with what I'm saying and not trying to just make it all about me monologuing. Because I could talk forever. Like I kind of, and it's like very deep dives. Like I love to conceptualize. I love philosophizing. I love thinking very deeply about things. But sometimes, you know, I like to know that my listeners they benefit and they really resonate with what I'm saying. That sounds so unmastered. That just kills me. Yeah. Don't let them steer you wrong. Ah. Sweet. Wait, what? And yes, drum and bass. Absolutely. Like, I'd say I love, yeah, experiment for me, because, you know, again, I'm a tutter, right? I'm like doing tutting, popping and locking and liquid and all that stuff. But for me, that's like really fun to dance to. I mean, everything's fun to dance to. But when we're talking about like, you know, like Atya and like Orenda and like Josh Teed and like trippy experimental stuff like Tipper and stuff, that is so fun to dance to. Like I can't even express. Like it's like you're literally on like psychedelics when you dance to this like crazy dope stuff. So yeah, that's like my preference. But I love, of course, I literally the last 2 weekends, like with my partner actually, both weekends I went to drum and bass shows. Freaking amazing. One was Bentley and Monroe. Those were the shows. But yeah, great times. Honestly, love drum and bass. Not my chosen genre. Like it's like I'd say there's many electronic genres that are above there, but I have so much love for it. I mean, who can? It's like tech house. You know, you hear like super dope like UK tech house or just like house as a whole, and when it's really good, like it's insanely good. So why don't you like Drake if you're from Canada? I don't know, bro. Like, I'm so confused. Like, what's there to like? What's there to like about, like, what's Drake's? I swear, the only song I know of his is Hotline Bling, and that song I just kind of like. I'm like, okay, this is like not bad for radio, but I don't know. It just doesn't work. But yeah, dude, yeah, Tipper is insane. Tipper, that's crazy. I mean, that's actually wild that you know Tipper, because yeah, Tipper is like top tier. I swear, it's just like, yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, I should don't let him steer you wrong. No, I don't think it's like, I don't think there's any risk of me being steered wrong. I think I'm gonna be okay. Wish I knew how to spell the artist you mentioned. Thank you. Yeah, bro, absolutely. I'll post on my YouTube, like I'll on a YouTube post. I actually, my recent post, if you check it out, I actually did post, posted Atya. I was like, that's one of my main influences. But he's not exactly like guitar, he's Atya. He's like crazy, trippy, like bass, tribal, kind of conscious music. It's very beautiful. But I'll make a post, bro. Keep your mind in the moments. I like that. I appreciate you, Sand. I appreciate you. feels so jarring. I feel like my tone is kind of botched. That's weird. It's okay with that. That's crazy. Mad Child. Yeah, Mad Child's pretty decent. Yeah. Hardcore punk, electronic B reggae. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll put on a post what I was just mentioning, like some of the music that's like I feels like top tier, like deep tempo bass, like organic, almost tribal bass. It's crazy. It's really good music. It's like the underground shit that's like popping off right now. That is like when you're, I don't know, everyone's playing it in the underground scene. It's so fucking good. But yeah. Hardcore punk is great. Like I like punk. Like punk is like my roots. Like I'm more of like alternative rock, metal, punk, you know, post-core, all that is just, it's beautiful. That's just magic. That shit's just magic. Yo, thank you. Appreciate you, Joanna. Thank you. I'm just trying to navigate these wild waters. Navigating these wild waters of being a YouTuber in 2026. I feel like I'm pretty locked in. Like we're in this. I'm feeling strong, but yeah, it's I feel I'm just trying to, you know, just get bold and out there. But I feel so good about you know, that new viewer. Or I think she subscribed a while ago. Wide, I don't remember. Wide something. My brain's cooked. But yeah, the idea is that like her expressing that she really liked what I was talking about. Me just like candidly, transparently, just like just talking about like cool stuff. It's like that makes me happy because that's the direction I'm gonna be going with this YouTube channel. Alongside everything. Like I'm gonna be releasing original music, vlogs, this, that, nature, everything. But I 1000% feel a strength of mine is I could just talk about like philosophy and, you know, the somatic body and qigong and this and that all day long. Like I really feel like I think about these things a lot. So I would be honored to create high quality content that also authentically resonates with me. Yeah. Hell yeah. I understand. I'm here. You speak a Shay. We learn together. Beautiful. W's. It's crazy though. Like that's a thing. You know, when I'm putting my post, I love to just like channel words of being like, you know, with reverence, with honor for each other, with honor for us as a collective, honoring ourselves. It's just there's so much beauty in the words that we can say, you know, for each other. Like this is the thing is like, you know, part of what I like about the YouTube channel community, right? The YouTube community is like, obviously this is not every day, all day long. People are just throwing, you know, philosophical, poetic messages at each other. But that just gives me life, man. When people are just like literally on YouTube, just like lifting each other up, just throwing good energy at each other, you know, with a whole community of people doing that, it's like that makes me happy. Or I'm like, you know, if people are guitarists, like teaching each other guitar and everyone's like supporting each other and be like, yo, you're killing it or whatever. And, you know, it's just like, that's great. That's what a YouTube I feel is really about. Come on, chat, spam. I don't know, people don't spam W's. I don't think that's, I sometimes say W's in the chat too, but people just don't really spam W's. But I know the support is there. It's so crazy though. I mean, you guys may have seen, but like, I'm actually just I'm so tripped out and just like ecstatic that like, you know, I ran into those two kids that were just like kicking it. Cause you know, I live in Westwood. That's like a isolated, like kind of like rich Asian community, but that also has forests, right? But it's so funny that I was like wandering Westwood, streaming as I do, and those two kids that I randomly ran into at some random moment, they're just like, yo, what's good? Remember us? And like, they're like, what's your YouTube? And I'm like, dude, that is like hilarious. I'm like, to see people in the real world actually being like hyped on like the YouTube portal. And I know it's a real thing. Like I know this exists everywhere if I just went out in the real world and started to stream more, which I do want to do. But that just gave me so much life. These like young kids are just like, just supporting the the local YouTube. Oh, it was great. It's great. Amazing. You guys are great, man. You guys get it. You know what's good. It's crazy though. Like I swear, it's such a wild journey bridging those worlds with like creating a YouTube channel, but very simply, when you do it with such a like powerful intention, with a passion, shit is life changing, man. Like it's like I get to like, build a channel and then pass the torch off, to many other people. Like pass on that torch, whether it's like they want to learn guitar or be a YouTuber themselves. It's like I think it's just powerful. It's powerful shit. Move for Aiden Ross. What? Appreciate you, dog. Yeah, appreciate you. I don't know who Aiden Ross is, but shout out Aiden Ross. I don't know. I don't know why. That's one of my favorite things about live streams. Like sometimes when I'm just like, just chilling, playing music, I can just be like, I can just give people shout outs. Like I can just like, shout out guitar, shout out Baby No Money, shout out Alexander Misko. Like it's just like, I mean, it doesn't mean anything because they're obviously not watching, but it's just like I'm just giving love, in the universe. It's great. It's great. Damn, though. All right, I think we are going to, 2 hours and 41 minutes. I guess that makes sense because I was roving for a bit. I think we're going to put an end to the stream. I got to go to the gym, make a bunch of food, work on some music, do some studio recording. So, yeah. This has been beautiful. Thank you so much for chiming in. Yeah, thank you for the support. And yeah, if you guys are watching and you don't follow this channel, feel free to follow this channel if this content resonates with you. I teach guitar, I do live streams. Damn, my phone is like 10%. That's crazy, dog. Holy shit. I thought my phone was charging, but I guess it wasn't. There we are. Now it's charging. But yes. I guess some exits, concluding words. I feel it's important to honor the real world, the real life experience, the visceral, the felt experience, the things that we can only feel and see in the real world, and apply these things to these tools, these portals that we see that's outside of the real world, because fundamentally, this is a tool. There's nothing inherently wrong or right with something like social media, like a phone. It's a tool, it's a neutral entity, but it's only to the degree that we have the awareness to see it for what it is, to see through the illusions that a lot of the modern programming hasn't thrusted on us. So if there's anything that I just want to leave with you guys is honor the real world, honor the awareness, be able to discern, see what's real, and introduce that into your life, see through the illusions. Anyways, see through the illusions. 45 minutes more, bruv. That's crazy. I gotta go to the gym, bro. This is the peak moment to make food and go to the gym. Anyways, thank you so much. Much love. Bless. Ashe. Ashe, my friends. Oh, yeah.